What's up, everybody? I'm Camarray.
And I'm Zaiah, and this is the Music Report Card, where albums are reviewed based on the vocals, lyrics,
the production, and the sonic vibe.
Alright, so today we are reviewing Joji's new album, Nectar.
Joji, who was that?
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out, amen. Hallelujah. Oh, yes, we will. We're going to get to know him today.
Let's get to the news first. Alright, so first up in news, Demi Lovato has split from her fiance, unfortunately. However, this song that she done came out with, y'all.
Still have me. What? Whoa. That's a big message.
It's a big message.
And a big song.
And I know we talked about, in the past, we talked about Demi Lovato and everything she was going through. She kind of made a recovery from that, was engaged. We were rooting for Demi Lovato. Yes. Still rooting for Demi Lovato because I feel like with that song, it just shows that she's still strong regardless of this setback and what may appear to be a setback.
Yeah.
The song is just saying, I still have me. Regardless of anything else, I don't have much, but I still have me. And that's a good place to be in.
And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's interesting, and I don't want to get too deep into this thing, but I feel like it's really interesting that a lot of these couples are going through like these major breakups in this quarantine season. It's like, I don't know. It's just weird that, we talked about Cardi and Offset, and then Ray J and Princess, and then now it's Demi and her I guess ex-fiance. But it's just interesting that all these people are starting to break up in this here season. I don't know. Interesting.
Well, you say that, but we recently did the Bryson Tiller review, which you weren't a huge fan of. And one of the songs that I liked on there was pretty much, that's why I liked it, is because it's that classic story of people falling too early and kind of getting, and I feel like that could potentially be the case.
Now, that was a lot of people with Demi, because they had only met for like 3 months and they were engaged, or whatever the case was, and they were engaged and then fell right apart. So yeah,
I had to throw that little plug in there for Bryson.
Let's stay together, y'all. Let's stay in love.
Yeah.
Love the one you're with, huh?
But love yourself, because that
above anything.
Above anything, she's loving herself, and if you got to split, and that's your rock bottom, and whatever's happening, let it happen, but bounce back.
Y'all, Elsha, can we get a collection plate for Pastor Zay over here? Because he just spoke a word. It resonated with me.
All right, what else we got in the news?
That thing got rich for me.
Was it rich?
Yes, thank you. The doors of the church are open. Somebody got some change?
Go ahead and collect, and go ahead and put that right in my bank account.
Put all that up in there. Amen.
You just ministered to me. That's a new car on the way.
Shut up.
Keys up in that.
Oh, yes.
They're going to be riding in the Tesla.
In other news, let's go ahead and talk about a major accomplishment from one of my favorite artists, Bruno Mars. He actually, according to RIAA, which is the company that certifies albums, has actually made, I guess you could say, history, being the 4th artist to have a diamond selling song. His song Grenade, which is a little old, but it actually just got certified as a diamond record. He comes in 4th behind Ed Sheeran, Eminem, and Katy Perry, so he joins a pretty elite club. But I think that's just an amazing feat. So congratulations to Bruno Mars. I know you love Bruno, the way he screams. Yeah. You know what? The people love when we sing on our show.
Do they?
Yeah, I think we should give them a little more.
We're gonna have a music report card karaoke session coming soon. Get ready. I'm ministering today. I'm speaking it into existence.
Pastor Zay.
Yeah, shut up.
EKOC.
All right,
well, let's go ahead and get into this week's album, which comes from a relatively new person to us. Maybe not new to you all, but his name is Joji, and he just released his new album titled Nectar. So let's do what we are accustomed to do. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about our favorite songs. Say what you got to say.
The first one coming in, Ew. I don't know why it's called Ew, but Ew is all I had to say to it.
Yes.
I just feel like he came in and I was like, okay, this is kind of feeling like James Blake a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like James Blake at first, and I was like, okay. Then he jumped up into this falsetto, and the song took a turn. It spun around like a tornado. Y'all, when he went up into that falsetto,
do it a little faster because that was a slow turn.
Well, you know, I'm a little. Despite what y'all see on camera, I'm 6 feet tall and I weigh about 230 to 240 pounds, give or take, depending on how much I ate or didn't eat or worked out or all that. Yeah, it's the water. It ain't the food.
It's the water for me.
Yeah, so trying to spin around on this thing a little faster than that, it ain't gonna happen.
But the song did take a much faster turn.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Once he started hitting the falsetto and all that, beautiful voice. It's really, he has a great voice.
Yes.
So falsetto was really, I mean, his falsetto in that particular, in Ew, which I don't know why it's called Ew. I guess I probably should have did some research on that, but I was kind of mesmerized once he went up into that falsetto.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
But then also the lyrics. So he's like saying, you taught me to love just to let me go.
Yeah.
And then also he said, I can't believe that I'm not enough. Like he's saying that when he's up in the falsetto. I know I'm just saying it so normal right now, but you got to hear the song and actually feel it and read the lyrics with it. It's a good first song to come into an album that I'm of a person that I'm unfamiliar with. So
yeah, and I think it's interesting, and I'll get into this song because it is one of my favorite songs, but you just mentioned the lyrics, so I want to touch on it. He has this running theme, I guess, throughout the album to where he feels he's not enough. I know he also mentioned that on Run.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's an interesting, I didn't pick that up when I listened to it, but yeah, that's an interesting take.
I'm going to need you not to miss it.
All right, so my favorite song on the album is actually called Mr. Hollywood.
Your favorite song?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you going right into it.
Yeah. I just love, so for me, I love songs that do not follow the typical or standard way of songwriting. So a verse, a chorus, a hook, a bridge, that whole thing. And so I just love that he basically gave this verse, he gave a hook, and then he repeated the same verse for the verse number 2 was the same as verse number 1, and it just felt so good. And I just love when artists are brave enough and bold enough to take that songwriting style to where it's unconventional and just not normal. I love that.
Yeah, I think I like Mr. Hollywood. I think that one was pretty good too. It wasn't like one of my top 3, but I definitely rock with it.
Yeah, and I also too musically, I just love like these like trap drums kind of mixed with this dope ass bass line. I sounded really West Coast right there. This dope ass bass line.
That's where you're from, right?
Yeah.
What part?
I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Vancouver, Washington.
I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Washington.
West Side.
Not West Side, but Washington.
Watna.
Watna. He from Watna.
He from the Watna.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I just love the bass line and the trap drums and how they kind of just collide and make for a beautiful song. I also love how he uses his voice on the record. I think that was an incredible, impeccable vocal arrangement and vocal delivery that he gave us on Mr. Hollywood.
So it's interesting that you're talking about the swag and stuff because my next song is gonna talk a little bit about the same thing. So.
Yeah, and the last thing I'm gonna say about Mr. Hollywood, and I don't even know who Mr. Hollywood is. I don't know, but it just reminded me, and you guys may be fans of Ariana Grande. I loved the melody in the verses where it was like using like those.
I think y'all should just go ahead and play the record. Don't rely on him to.
Oh, I could give it to him if I wanted to.
That you just did.
In real life. Like I could put on the whole show.
Go ahead and post your grades in the comment section.
Well, again, y'all know me. I have to check with my manager. I don't just perform for free, but I could.
You just did.
If I wanted to. No, that was a playful.
And I don't even know if I would come if it was free. Based on what I just heard.
You would be right there opening act. Anyway. Well, let's talk about our second phase. Go ahead.
Okay, so Nitrous.
Okay.
I like Nitrous. Nitrous just had
That's an interesting choice.
A really good, fun feel to it.
It did.
And then it was just a twist because I wasn't expecting that to come out of him. I wasn't expecting that swag, trappy kind of feel to come out of him after he's singing this Ew song with all these pretty vocals and different things like that. Now, I did mention James Blake, so obviously I could imagine that would be there, but I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't expecting it.
Okay.
So we came in on Nitrous with this feeling, it just felt good, and it made me kind of want to dance a little bit. And Nitrous is actually referred to as Laughing Gas.
Come on, research. That boy good.
Y'all know I paid attention in chemistry class. I was trying to go to school to be a doctor.
Really?
Yeah, originally. So chemistry and the periodically table. That was my thing. That was my joint.
Okay.
No, I'm just playing. But no, so when you inhale nitrous, it gives you this euphoric feeling, and it's just dope that he kind of referenced saying, got my insides loud like motorcycles, and love makes me want to sing, like your love makes me want to sing, and this high makes me want to sing, and just this positive, upbeat feeling, and it's all referenced kind of to nitrous.
Yeah.
Without saying nitrous, so I thought that was pretty clever and dope.
Definitely a dope song. And I didn't put that one on my list. There were so many great songs. And I'll say, I actually had never even heard of Joji. But when his album first came out, it was like at the top of the iTunes charts. And I was like, let me just listen. And so for you guys that don't know, he's a part of 88 Rising, which is like a record label / management company that kind of tailors to or caters to Asian American artists. And it was interesting because when I looked at the cover, I thought he was like just a regular kind of white boy, but looking at some of his interviews and seeing some of his videos since we looked into doing the album, I was like, oh, this is kind of a dope concept. But anyway, do some research on him. He's a really, really dope artist.
I didn't know he was Asian either until I seen the album cover. He does look Asian to me.
Really?
I felt like he did, yeah. But just like in his videos and things, I don't really think he looked Asian for real.
But I think definitely creative-wise, you can see some of the influence.
Absolutely, and some of the phrasing and words that were used.
Yeah,
totally. He's giving Asian
American.
Asian. Not the America.
No, original.
Just Asian.
All right. Well, let's get into my next favorite song, which is actually the song that stood out to me first when I first heard the album, and that is Give Me Love, Give Me Love. Listen, okay, that first half is cool. It starts out with like this kind of like EDM, very up-tempo, very fast-paced beat. But ladies and gentlemen, around that 2-minute mark, when that thing, we talking about that turn, he turned it around, and that thing got so beautiful. Oh my gosh. It was like, I feel like I was at a ballet. It was just like all these beautiful violins and these haunting background vocals, and it just sucked me in. Y'all felt that? Oh, it sucked me in. One more time. It sucked me in. My God, but it's just a beautiful.
Get that collection played again,
right? It really, really took me to a place. Now, I shouldn't say that what I was doing when I was listening, but I was doing some other stuff that grown people do, and it just heightened. Everything was just heightened in that moment. I just felt everything. I think I texted today and I was like, yo, we have to do this album. Like, it just spoke to me so heavily, and I just love. Give me love. Give me love.
Yeah, give me love. I like the upbeat feel and all of that. So it actually was one that I wrote down when I did my first listen. But yeah.
Yeah, I also love the lyrics where he says something to the effect of, you're leaving me here with fire and ashes. Basically, you're leaving me here with nothing. And you're leaving me here with these people that aren't real. They don't feel, and they don't heal. So please, just give me love. And I think throughout the album, again, another kind of consistent topic that he deals with is the need and the want to just have real love. And I think that's an awesome topic to kind of just dwell in, and really makes for a great body of work. So yeah, give me love. That second half, please do yourself a favor and go check that song out.
All right, my next favorite, and probably my favorite, is Run.
Yes.
You're going to get up and run. Do a church
run.
run.
I almost felt it right there. I almost took off out of here.
You almost took off.
You was almost doing a show by yourself.
Ooh.
Run.
Don't leave me. All right, so Run had this sad suspense feel to it, but then it took a run once it got to the chorus.
Sprint. That's what
it started sprinting.
It
should have been called Sprinter. Sprinter, like spring and winter. Sprinter.
I do what I'm doing.
So it just took it started sprinting when we got to the chorus. This song, y'all have to listen to this and watch the actual video.
Oh my gosh,
like,
so creative.
Is this your favorite too?
It's
it's
on my list.
Hollywood is your favorite. Oh,
it's on my list.
Well, go ahead. We can just bounce off of each other on this one.
So Run, listen. Okay, for me, I love musicality, and for me, it's all about the guitar solo at the end. That thing felt like, oh my gosh.
And it's an electric guitar.
Yes, that was electric guitars. Like, my mom, I have to shout out my mom. My mom loves those electric guitars, like at the end of like Earth, Wind and Fire, like that.
I thought I was listening to Prince.
Like, oh my gosh, those Prince, Dirty Diana, like all of those like heavily guitar-driven, electric guitar-driven songs. You get that on this song, and I just love that. But beyond that it has this feeling of like this head nod, like you just can't.
Yeah.
Like if I was in a studio and he was playing this for me for the first time, like you can't help.
It's a swing bop.
Yeah.
It's like a swing bop. You don't know if you want to swing or if you want to bop or if you want to.
It's heavy. It's
nice.
Hard. It punches you in your chest. Like the beat is just phenomenal. Phenomenal song.
So I love what I really love was the lyrics.
Okay.
On top of that.
Yeah.
He said something about if we're sharing this sadness, then where have you been?
Where have you been?
So if this sadness is for both of us to go through because this isn't working any longer, why am I doing this on my own? Why am I the only one sad? And if I'm dead to you, why are you at the wake?
I did feel that. I did think about that line when I heard that line on the song. So we talk about lyrics, but then we also gonna talk about these vocals and how the grit of his vocals balanced with some of his falsetto notes, and just you get to really, in my opinion, just
feel
see
what he's saying.
Yes, you get to see all. It's like the perfect singer song. Like you get to emote. I love that he emoted on the song, but you get the beauty of that tone. You get the grit. You get the false. You get everything in one song, and it's just.
I'm shocked that it's not your favorite.
Now that we sit here and talk about it, it made like
because you real turnt on it, and you wouldn't like this for Hollywood.
I know. I might be changing my mind. We might have to switch it, take a turn, and switch that thing up. Yeah, but yeah, I love Run. Exceptional song, Joji. Amazing. And that was also one of my top 3. So I think we can go ahead and jump into our grade for the album.
All right. So vocals, I gave a 4.
Okay.
I gave a 4. Though his vocals are dope.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that they are out of this world dope. They are just dope for his artistry and what he does. They are unique to him, and that's what makes them so dope.
Okay. That's
kind of how I feel, and that's why I gave him a 4.
I can understand that. I also came through with a 4.25. I wanted to give him just a little bit more because I just appreciated everything that he did vocally on the album. Like I just mentioned, you get to see all of the beauty of his voice, and I think that I actually watched another review of his of this album, and people were talking about some songs that they just didn't like and how he has changed over the years and over the album. So I'm definitely interested to go back and see what he was doing back then. But what we're presented here vocally, in my opinion, is amazing. Like I said, he kind of covered all of the grounds. He has this dark, kind of haunting voice, but then he also gives you that higher,
sweet falsetto.
Yeah, he has a great balance. So whoever works with him on his vocal choices and arrangements, spot on.
All right, so lyrics. Lyrics, I gave him a 4.5. Definitely a strong writer.
Yeah.
He's definitely strong. Or whoever works with him on these songs, I think that the lyrics were definitely dope throughout the song. Obviously, I've mentioned some of them. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so 4.5 is where I landed with lyrics.
All right. I also gave him a 4.5, but it comes with an addendum. Okay? And that is, for me, and as a songwriter, I kind of feel like it's kind of whatever to saying this, but I'll just say it like this. I feel like sometimes writers get too caught up in trying to make their songs deep, and it can have the potential to go over the average listener's head. And so if I were to give, and I know he wrote a lot on the album, if I were to give him any notes, if you will, it would be just be careful of writing some songs. Some of the songs on the album, I just love the album as a whole, but some of the songs lyrically kind of went over my head, and I had to like really like look in detail and be like, okay, well, what is he saying, and what does this mean, and why does he say it? Like, you know? And so I just caution any writers out there to be careful that your lyrics don't go over your audience's head.
I disagree, because the audience that it's designed for is going to actually get it. And you have to stay true to your artistry and true to your pen and true to your writing and true to what is real for you and what makes sense for you. And I think when you do that, you get great stuff. And people who understand that great stuff are going to be able to appreciate it because they're going to understand it.
I mean, I get it. I'm not talking about dumbing the songs down, but just being cautious that it doesn't go over your listeners' head.
All I'm saying is just be true to you. If people get it, they get it. If they don't get it, they don't get it. And there's something else out there that's simplistic enough for you to get. Maybe you don't listen to Joji.
And I get that, but I just feel like you mentioned if they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. But and for me, I make music, and I'm sure you and a lot of artists out there make music to first heal and gratify. Self-gratify. But that's great if you're making, if you don't have to pay anything for studio time, you don't have to pay to, do it. We make music for others to enjoy as well. So it has to have a balance, and I guess that's all I'm saying.
No, I get it. I just, from my perspective, as I will say again, is artistry is, if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this painting and that painting and that painting and that painting, you're going to have a painting that's going to be ridiculous and makes no sense to you, but someone's going to come up and they're going to get that, or multiple people can come up and say, oh, wow, this is giving me so much of this and so much of that, but it's not art, and this is artistry, this is art, is not for everybody to get. So you just have to do what makes sense for you, and if people understand it, they understand it. But I also realize that I've grown as an individual and came back and listened to things that I listened to over a decade ago, and realized, oh wow, I never caught that and knew that that's what this song was actually about. This is amazing.
Yeah, I've done
this is amazing. So just do you, boo.
All right, that was great rap. I feel like you need like an organ today because you like really on some preaching type. But let's talk about production. What did you give them for production?
Production, I give a 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, I think
very solid.
There were some unique things in there that I felt like I hadn't really heard before, coming from a more alternative album. And it was new to me, but I still felt like production-wise, it was still great.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
Yeah, and I agree. I gave him a 4.25. Like you said, there were some things that I had heard and some chord progressions that just felt natural and normal that I have heard before, but there were some things that I was like, oh, that's different. Okay. Yeah. I would take that and use that on my stuff. So I definitely agree with that. Even vocally, like we mentioned, some of the vocal production and all of the album, throughout the entire album, was just spot on for me. So I gave him a 4.25.
Cool. Sonic Flow. I gave a 4. I think, honestly, that it flowed well for me. I mean, it did start off kind of, everything kind of started to feel the same at one point, but then some up-tempo things came in that calmed back down. I also love how he switches up in multiple songs. It switches up and it may feel like it's dragging at first, and it's like, oh, this again, and then switch. And next thing you know, we got a sprinter going.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a whole track meet.
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
So yeah.
For me, as much as I love the songs individually, ladies and gentlemen, I had to give his Sonic Flow a 2. And I'll take a little bit of time to explain why.
A little bit,
very little. The album is, and don't quote me, I want to say it's 18, maybe 19 songs long.
17?
17 or 18. 17 or 18, something like that. A lot of great songs, from Your Man to all the songs we've mentioned. There's a couple others that are on there that are 777. All of those songs are incredible on their own. However, I feel that the album it sounds almost thrown together. And it doesn't have any real, and this is where the term...
Almost thrown together, what do you mean by thrown together?
So, when you listen to an album from start to finish, there is this is where the term sonic flow came from.
There's a sequence.
Oh yes, there's a sequence. That is normal, or that you just kind of stick with. You piece and weave an album together.
It's intentional when you're doing it.
Y'all, this boy is preaching on tonight.
It's not even the preaching, y'all. It's the lingering on for me. You get to the point. It's intentional. Okay, now let me feed you the words.
You just went left. Take my time, man. All right. Anyway, but that was a great word. It's intentional. And on this album, it just felt like a bunch of great songs thrown together. One song didn't lead into the next song. It didn't feel like this song really meshed well with this song. It was just kind of thrown together for me. And although I love all the songs individually and I would play them, clean up the house or riding in the car or whatever, as an album, I just feel like it was thrown together.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I respect that.
That's my grade on that. Joji, I'm sorry, I really do like the album as individually, but
you
together as a whole, I had to give you a 2. And that's really low for me.
All right, so when we add all of that up, divide it all up, figure it all out, calculate it,
because he's not only a chemist, he's a mathematician as well, ladies.
That's a part of chemistry. You gotta do some calculations in chemistry too.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. You got all that.
Dr. Zay.
Dr. Zay. Ooh, Dr. Zay.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the average came out to a 3.94,
yes,
which actually gives us 78.75%.
That's right.
Which gives him
a C+.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good for him. But this is our first alternative album that we reviewed, and
I was excited to hear it. I think it definitely broadened my outlook on different artists and help, I think, not be afraid to touch someone like Joji. So I'm interested to hear what our fans and the audience abroad has to say about our review. Please make sure on this one specifically that you drop down in the comments and let us know how much you agree or disagree with our verdict on Joji's new album, Nectar.
Be sure to like also and subscribe. We're trying to work to get to 500 subscribers.
Yes.
Please help us out. Share it with everybody.
Share.
And thank you so much for watching, y'all.
Sharing is caring. Yes. Amen. Speaking of sharing, the collection play and give us harmonic solo. But for now, we'll just sign off and say thank you guys for watching. I'm Camarray.
And I'm Zaiah. Peace out.
Next time.